one of the major components within Vizrt are containers. And containers combine a set of properties to one block used in a scene. And a scene can contain many containers. So you can see within our scene tree here that we just used this little G button, or this group button here, and drug this group down into our scene tree. Now this is essentially a container, a standalone container that has nothing in it right now. And you can see there's three icons here that we can use. Number one, there's a hide icon, which is an eyeball. There's a little lock, a keyhole icon here, which will lock this container. And then there's the transformation axis icon. And if you click on that, that takes you into the transformation axis editor. Now that was a standalone group, and you'll notice if we drag any sort of built-in geometry down into the scene tree, we get the same parameters within this container, except now we have an icon for the sphere. So anytime we drag a primitive down into our scene tree or in our scene editor window, you see we have that icon here. And if you click on any one of these icons, it will take you into that particular properties editor here. So we click on the circle, here the circle editor. Again, we click on the transformation icon and it takes us into the transformation axis editor. Within this axis editor, every container has it, and here we can position it on the X, Y, and Z, forward and backwards. We have a rotation parameter, which we can turn it on the X, Y, and Z again. A scaling, which we can use X, Y, and Z, either locked, single, or proportionately. And we also have our axis center point here, and you can see when we move that, it affects our bounding box here of this circle. Now that we actually have a circle within this container, here's the eyeball. We can turn that on or off. It simply hides that container. This lock button, now that it's highlighted and active, means that you cannot come over to the scene tree and drag it. If it's unlocked, we can come over, click on this, and drag it. Conversely, if you have this locked again, you can move it within your transformation axis editor, but you can't come in to the scene and move it. Now you can add things to these containers. So we could go into our server and we could add a material. So if we wanted to add some color to it, we could also add a texture to it. So we could drag an image onto it. And at any time we click on those icons, it takes us into the material editor. And here it will take us into the texture editor as well for that container. If you want to rename a container, you just simply double click on it and give it a new name and hit enter. At any time, if you want to get rid of a particular icon within that container, you can just take it and drag it to the trash. And if you want to copy a container, you can simply just hold down Control, click, and drag. And that's one way to copy containers. As we rename this container here, you can also at any time drag containers around within the scene tree, and you notice you get this little bracket system here. So we can keep it on the same level if we just wanted to rearrange the position in that, and or we could make it a child-parent relationship with our containers. If you want to select multiple containers, you can select one, then hold down Control and select the other one. Also, holding down Shift will also select them all within the row.